Okay.
Hey, what's up, guys? We got another fun live stream going on here. Me and the Captain Ron.
Eric in first. What's up? Better?
That's better-ish.
Yes, first.
He's the one who says first. So I just watched a JRC video a couple minutes ago, and I finally got my first.
Your first?
My first.
What's up, Zach?
In JRC's video.
What's up, Kevin?
What's up, guys? He loves this channel. Did you see it?
Loves the channel.
Says he loves it.
Checking in from Sturgis.
Sturgis. Damn. Down in the Dakotas.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here on this awesome Saturday evening. We actually didn't do a whole lot of work today, thankfully.
I mean, we went in, but we didn't do a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
Phone.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, you're live.
Yes, I am live. Yes, Zach, I think we're going to do a giveaway tonight. So.
We are?
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't even know about it.
I don't know. I'm never told anything until the last minute, so.
That's right. Can't tell anybody these secretive things.
I guess not.
That's right.
Kevin says, hell yeah, I love this channel too.
Mm-hmm. So tonight we are going to be opening our diesel crate.
Which is backwards.
Well, that's because you can't fix that. And truck pack. We're going to be opening those tonight. Checking in, see what's up with those. I didn't really just want to make a whole video on just those.
It's kind of shaky to it.
I think these are going to be awesome. And then after that, I think I'm going to give one of them away.
I think both these have hoodies in them.
I think so too, from what a couple of other guys have said.
So,
what's up, Justin?
They get everything but the hoodies, right?
No, they're gonna get their choice of pack tonight. So the winner of whatever we do giveaway wise tonight, they're gonna get their choice of truck pack or a diesel crate. I'm gonna send this one to you. You're gonna be happy about it because it's from me.
You gonna sign it too? Can we sign them?
I'll sign it.
We'll sign the lid.
We will sign the inside of the lid just because one day it might be worth something.
It might not.
Do some Harbor Freight ratchets, and for others, you just it's the job done. Ratchets, I will not buy a Harbor Freight ratchet. I have busted my knuckles on Harbor Freight ratchets, and the fact that they are bass backward switching that bugs the shit out of me.
Yes, they're freaking backwards as hell, and they are annoying. Edwin got the new DMM. Yeah,
I saw that you did. That's an awesome meter. I really like that one. It's worked out real great. I used it the other weekend to do some diagnosing of a. Hold on, I guess we gotta switch around here.
Yeah, the laptop monitor is shaky.
I think this whole table is.
Oh, the whole table. Well, I didn't build it.
Well, it's out of PVC. Yeah, see, shaky.
Yeah, but it's at least we're not getting like the wobble of the laptop screen too. Right. So
we are in Ohio, Justin.
Hey, Ka, from the Honda guy.
Oh, hey, what's up, Mark? Finally, he gets into one of these cool live streams. Put it back up there. It's bugging me.
Oh, jeez. Picky.
It is. It's bugging me.
You're bugging me.
Well, shit happens. I know you guys are going to get sick of us changing all this shit over, but I don't care.
Yeah, we just can't go like...
Well, stop it then. Weirdo. So what did you guys think of the Milwaukee tools that I did in the video this last week? Dude, I got those, and they have been like one of the biggest, best surprises of tools that I've had in a very long time. They were freaking beasts. They cost like half the amount of the Snap-on ones that I've gotten over the last couple of months, and the output is awesome.
Eric says 10K Hellcat.
10K Hellcat.
And apparently Zach wants to know if we can send some Snap-on tools in the giveaway too.
Not on this one, but 10K giveaway. I'm going to do a big giveaway for that one. Definitely a big giveaway for the 10K. I'm going to definitely include some good size Snap-on tools or tool kits for that one. So you guys have to stay in tune for that one.
Brandon said, I almost busted my knuckle when that adapter broke.
Legit. He seriously, he was not expecting that at all. Justin, actually, I have an inside source with a Milwaukee rep, and yes, the prices here within the next 3 weeks are going to be going up probably about 15%. And that's actually not due to popularity, but due to the trade issues that we're having in the country right now and shortages of certain parts that they're getting from them. So the parts are going to have to cost more, and therefore they're going to have to charge more for them. So if you guys have not gotten your hands on some Milwaukee stuff, they're going to be going up in prices here soon. So I would recommend getting them right now. They're definitely
sooner than
worth
later.
it. I've got a couple more little things that I got from them. I got that boot for the 3/8, and I ordered a boot for that 1/2 inch, and it should be coming in tomorrow-ish.
Honda guy says, I know you've tried the Milwaukee 1/2 inch electric. Any opinion on the DeWalt?
I have only used a DeWalt one time, and that was like 4 years ago. So it's not the most up-to-date one that I use. So I can't give a good review on that one. I just don't know enough about them. I haven't used them. I've just used the Snap one. I used the one 2 versions ago, the original lithium that also had the NiCad battery with it. And then I used the Monster lithium one also. And they were, we'll just say, weak sauce compared to these Milwaukees.
Brandon got his boot today, and it's just as nice as the 3/8 one.
Mine's supposed to be in the mail tomorrow. We're supposed to be getting those.
Snap-on is coming with new impact cordless gun.
Shh, you're not supposed to say that. Yes, I have another insider with Snap-on, and from what I hear, this is just speculation, but from what I hear, you're going to be hearing about a new Snap-on 1/2 inch impact, likely brushless, here around Q1, mid-quarter. So I'm thinking like late January, early February, you'll hear about it. And then I don't think you're going to see the tool, though, until probably April. That would be my guess.
It'd be my luck. It'll come out like after I leave school.
Yeah. Well, Justin, are you talking about my new box? Yeah, my big badass
You've
Epic.
had that for about a month.
A month. My tool review video of my tour of the toolbox, that's been out for about a month now, and it is badass. I love it. It's got the Echo Locks flat black with the new blue chrome, the dark blue chrome trim.
And Brandon said he'll get it for me. He'll still be in school.
Yeah, Justin, you have to go check it out. That box is amazing. That was the one thing that I wish I would have done earlier. Instead of building on that master box that I have, would have been to have gotten an Epic one sooner and then built on that one.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I couldn't pass up mine though. So
yeah, Ron got a new box.
I got a new box.
We talked about that, but it's not on film yet. So that one will be going with
if you look real close, you can see it in the background of some of the videos. But
yeah,
but we haven't done a debut of it yet.
Yeah, we'll do a toolbox tour video of that one probably here. We might wait until you graduate
That way,
because you're going to have another tool order coming in to be able to fill some more spots in that one. But it's a really nice master series.
Any dislikes with your box so far?
With my box, the only dislike that I have so far is not that much of a dislike, but on the cabinets, how they open, you have to pull them away. They're just held in by magnets. Those magnets are super strong. So some of the times you're like trying to pull on it and you're like, is this thing still locked or not? And no, you just have to pull really hard. Usually you grab about 3 inches from the top of it and you pull on it and it comes out a lot easier.
Yeah, but if you're in a hurry and trying to grab like in the middle, like you almost have to take both hands and go like this.
Pull out
and
with your
pop
thumb.
it, like pop it loose.
So my plan is to take a couple of those magnets out of the middle and it'll still hold fine. But that's the only downfall that I have pointed out so far in the toolbox that I have. Everything else, it's immaculate. It's badass.
Let's say Yoda Doug Tool and Pup Vid says Rusty and Captain
What's up, Yoda?
Ron. Do you want me to read these or you got it?
I can read.
I don't know if you were having to.
Anything? No, not at all, Justin. I saw quite a few Snap-on videos on guys with a couple of the first rounds of Epics having fitment issues where the plastic, the ends of, you know how it has the handle that you pull up on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the ends of it have a little cap latch to them
Mm-hmm.
that they were dragging on the lower side of the drawers. Mine does not have that issue. I don't have any dragging on any of the drawers. My Snap-on rep, after I put mine together, he's like, yeah, one of those things I do, the toolboxes, we lubed up all the slides, because you don't know how long things have been sitting ahead of time. Even though this was a fresh built box, it's just out of habit. We lubed up the slides, and I don't have any issues with the slides or dragging in my box right now.
Rust equal job security. Gotta love it.
Yeah, lots and lots of job security. As much as we hate it, and we have rust in our hair at night all the time from Ohio here.
Mm-hmm.
But as of lately, it's been about 50-50, working on rusty, crusty things and working on fancy, new, shiny things.
Which scanner are you using between the Maxxis and Snap-on?
So, actually, I am going to be doing another big review here on some new scan tools that's coming to the US market here really soon. And I'll just go ahead and say it ahead of time. It's Topdon.
Spoiler.
Topdon is the brand. They're bigger over in Japan and the UK. They're kind of like a midline Launch, like you see right now. The hardware of it is made by Launch, and then the software is by Topdon. I've got a couple of their units that I've been reviewing over the past couple weeks. So here in the next week or so, I'm going to be putting out a video of the Artipad Mini, and that thing has done fantastically so far.
No, Launch.
Launch. No, it is not the Launch. It is a Launch hardware based kind of. Launches, they make a lot of the hardware stuff. They even make for the Matco, the Maxxis. Launch makes that hardware now. Matco and stuff make their own software that go in them, but Launch actually produces the scanner for them as well.
How about Picoscope?
You weren't impressed with the Topdon scan tools. Now, Justin, which version of the Topdons did you get to use? I haven't got my hand on one of the C readers. I've messed with the Launch. They're as I did in one of my smaller scan tool videos, the $400 one, right around there. The Maximus 2.0, I actually got my hands on one and was just kind of messing around with it this last week. So I'm kind of looking at and about one of those. The Picoscope, I've heard lots of great things about it. I have not used one myself, just because our Zeus scan tool has the scope 4-channel scope capabilities built into it. So I haven't had a really need to get any of the other Picoscope things.
What's up, Chris M?
All ones that you gave away. No, Justin, the versions that I'm trying out, they're quite a bit more costly. They're going to be in the $1,600 and $3,500 range, somewhere around there. Don't quote me on those, but that's where they're right around those respective numbers. They're for bigger shops and stuff. They do emailed scan reports. The larger one, you're going to be able to hook up the Launch scope box to it. That's going to be something neat.
Inductive heaters for bolts. Any luck with them? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have that thing out like at least once a week.
Mm-hmm. All that induction heater, which is the you asked me too soon. Now I forget the mini ductor.
Yeah,
that's the one that we have. That mini ductor is used quite often, and it just keeps on ticking. We've had to put a couple of new tips on them, but I mean, you get a set of tips for like $40, something like that. But they really
Yeah,
They
if
really
you
are
if
awesome.
you work in an area that's got rust issues, having one of those is very handy.
Oh, the pocket readers, those are the ones you got. So those pocket readers, they actually sent me quite a few of those as well. I haven't got to looking at them. Their battery tester that I have reviewed, their tiny little battery tester that only sells for like 45 bucks. That thing is pretty nice for the cost of it, and it works really well.
Yes, it does. Zach says, "Can you give me any advice before becoming a mechanic?"
Well, go watch the
Go
video.
watch all the videos that we put out.
We just put out a video on becoming a mechanic and how we got started as becoming mechanics in the Chrysler industry, at least going to school and training and such.
What do you think about the Campbell Housefield impact tools for a beginner?
Depends on what kind of beginner you're talking, I guess.
You're draining your battery. Your red jacket's on.
I know, because I was cold earlier. That's why I had to turn it down. So now it's chillier-ish. I used a Campbell Housefield 3/8 air ratchet for the first 6 months, and to be honest, it just couldn't keep up and it couldn't match. It broke a couple of times. I replaced it once, but in shop life, you're gonna use these things every day, all day, and if it can handle it, then go for it. But in my experience, those Campbell Housefields that you get from like Walmart and stuff, they don't hold up.
Ford for the win.
Yeah, so they sent me the 3 baseline code readers, the one that just reads a code, the one that reads a code with a description, and they sent me one that reads the code with ABS. So I'll be doing a little video on those, and I might be doing a giveaway on those also. But the ones that I'm doing extensive testing on is their Artipad Mini, which is I think it was like a $1,300 range-ish. It's got a Bluetooth USB extension thing there.
Justin Doe with a $5 donation for a beer or a coffee, whichever you prefer.
Ooh, some beer sounds good right now.
We have stuff upstairs.
I know I might have to get some here in a little bit, but
hey, Justin, thanks.
Appreciate it, man. Definitely. But the Artipad Mini is going to be in that range. It has a Bluetooth dongle that plugs into the OBD2 port, and then the actual scan tool. I'd say it's about the size of an iPad Mini, right around there, with its own specialty case for it. It's actually a really good scan tool.
Actually, if you're talking about the small one, the small blue one,
it's a little bit thinner.
It's actually about the size of a 7-inch tablet.
Yes.
Because I mean, it's an Android-based tablet. So if you have like the Amazon Fire 7-inch tablets, which are about that big roughly, yeah, that's about how big it is. I mean, it's not quite as big as an iPad Mini, but it's a lot thinner than it is longer.
Yeah, it's going to be a good video. That one's going to be really nice. Look at Kevin coming in with a donation, $4.99.
$4.99.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It is definitely going to go to helping out the channel. We're going to get some really cool new stuff here in the next couple of months too, both tool-wise and truck-wise. We're going to be doing some neat things on that one.
Best way to free up eccentric alignment bolts.
A torch.
Yeah.
Special tool number 2 in the Dodge world, I think is what we call it. Liquid wrench.
When you getting that tattoo?
Yeah, I do need to get that too. I have Dodge special tool number 1 and a hammer right there, but I still need special tool number 1.
Kyle's gonna bees tree 50.
Bees tree 50. PB blaster. I mean, if you can. So literally on Friday, I had one. It was a 2010 Avenger. The rear camber the rear toe was way out on it, and that camber bolt, that thing was just, it was. I use heat and PB blaster on it back and forth for about 15-20 minutes, and after you get going past 15 minutes or so, stuff just starts bushings start melting. The bolts start, not working so well, and they lose their rigidity, and you're just going to need a new one after that point. Mopar rust penetrant. Yes. I've tried that one, and it's worked pretty decently, but Yeah. In our state, they just don't last so well. But see, though, I don't have the issue on the big Dodge trucks, Chris. Those bigger Dodge trucks, those things, I don't know if they've just got a higher grade steel bolt, or their sleeves aren't as tight in there, or they're tighter. But I don't have a whole lot of issues with those seizing up nearly as much as like the smaller cars, like the Calibers, Compass, Patriot, Avengers. Those things in the rear end, good luck. If you're wanting to change, the rear toe in those, it ain't gonna happen so well. All the 1500 trucks, yeah, I don't get as much issue in those for some reason. I don't know. I just haven't had that much problems on that one.
Did you turn this?
No.
Oh, seemed like it's turned. What's your resolution for 2019?
My resolution for 2019, I want to go SEMA.
SEMA?
Mm-hmm. That's one of my biggest things. I
want to go.
I'm hoping that somebody's going to get me there or take me there, but that's really where I want to go. I want to go to SEMA this year.
My resolution is graduating school.
There you go. Favorite Snap-on tool of 2018. That one by far is, I've got one right up there, and it's going to be the
This is the one.
it's going to be the S-Rad coolant filler.
Yep.
That thing, since I got that has cut my time down drastically in anything and everything that I have to re-add coolant to. Mostly for the water pumps and the 6.7 Cummins, doing those recalls because they only pay us an hour to do them. Really, it only takes about 15 minutes to change the water pump out on one of those. But then on a diesel, especially if it's cold, we bring it in this time of year, dude, it takes like 40 minutes or more for that diesel to warm up enough for the thermostats to open. And even then, for some reason, they always got air pockets in them, and we'd have to go drive them and then bring them back in. So with those recalls, it was taking like an hour and a half to do. So I think it was the SVTS Rad coolant filler. The one that the Snap-on Tool Review did a in-depth use on that one, and it was also in my top 10 time-saving tools. Yeah, exactly, Chris. But if you get one of the S-Rad coolant fill tools, those, you don't have to bleed it. You have to bleed nothing. It sucks all the air out of the system, and then it injects the coolant right into it. You have 0 air pockets. I tested it for probably 4 days because I just didn't quite trust it right off the bat in filling the system, and I never had a single air pocket one time. So if you guys have not got one of those, no, that's not the one. If you guys haven't got one of those, that one saves me the absolute most time of any and every tool that I have, Snap-on wise.
Why it's not on here?
Because you don't know what you're looking for.
Probably.
You definitely need to get one. I think their price was right at like, they were kind of pricey, like $250, $260. You might be able to get them, on sale, something along those lines. But in the amount of time that they have saved me in anything that I do with coolant, it's well worth it.
Snap-on website's being stupid today. Oh well. Just look it up. You'll find it.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get to opening some of these.
Okay. Which one do I get?
We're just going to open one of them at a time. Or do you want to do both of them?
That's it. Yeah, it's your stream. You do what you want.
This one first. We're going to use the crate first.
All right.
Going to use the, what blade is this? This is a Kershaw knife. I also got a new knife sharpener this last week, guys, and love it. And I'm going to be doing a review on that one probably too, because it actually works. What's the most current pain in the ass recall you have to deal with in the last 30 days? For some reason lately, Chrysler's been very nice when it comes to recalls as of late. Like, they're not pain in the butt recalls. They're actually pretty simple to do because 90% of the time they're going to be reflashes. The other pain in the butt one would have to be the one where we have to take photos of these Wranglers, the welds of their track bars, and they're just in crappy positions, and you have to write the VIN number in a pen, and you can't even hold your phone up into the right place to get a good picture, that they require that you email each one of them into them. That's kind of stupid. But yeah.
Okay, ready for this?
Let's do it. What's the first thing you pull out of the box?
First thing is what's on top.
Diesel Crate.
Diesel Crate hoodie.
Got her. Diesel Crate hoodie. I like that one. Turbski. Size matters.
Size matters.
Because it does.
Yes, it does.
In the turbo world, size does matter.
Fuel bracket for the gas tanks is a pain recall. Yes, it is.
Yeah, they are, especially here in the crusty states. All right, so you got the Diesel Crate hoodie, and that one, you know, sorry, they're in 2XL because that's what I ordered. So, Marriage, Turbski. That's going to be the sticker in that one.
Apparently, there's a theme here.
Yep.
Because
they like the turbos. Turbo, size matters, air freshener. And a diesel power magazine.
Wait, is there a turbo in here?
Well, there's all kinds of turbos in that magazine.
And then coupon codes.
It's the same stuff that we've said each time. Yep, same exact stuff.
Yep, same as last month. And that's it.
Yep.
That's literally all that was in there.
Well, I think that this is going to be one of the better boxes because this hoodie.
That's a super thick hoodie.
It's a really thick hoodie. This is not a like cheap $4 hoodie. If you were gonna like, all right. So I got a hoodie off of Diesel Power Gear. From their, yeah, it's got a nice inside to it. So I got a hoodie recently from Diesel Power Gear for their like Thanksgiving Day sale that they had, and that hoodie was $35. So just the hoodie alone is worth the cost of the crate.
And if you win this, or whichever one it is that you pick, hope you can wear a 3XL.
It's a 2X, but yeah. Oh, they definitely sent a 3X, even though. Okay, well, it's a 3X.
Like, it's winter. You might be super fat by now.
Yeah.
You know, with the holidays.
Oh, you had a 6.7 Cummins blow up? Yeah. Not too many of the 6.7s blow up too often. But I have one that we are literally waiting on the parts for right now. And I'm thinking I'm going to do a video on it. It's on a 5500.
Andy says, just my size.
Look at that. Andy's in the house. What's up, bud? Yeah, we've got a 5500 that got traded in, and the turbo, it's already open. The bearing in it decided to take a poop, and it's going to need a turbo, and probably took a poop because there's no coolant in it either. So, because it has a hole in the radiator, which is a $900 radiator in a Cummins. Absolutely crazy. 5500 just blew up. Going down the highway. Turbo just blew up in flames. Oh, jeez.
Okay, ready for truck pack?
All right, truck pack box coming open.
Hey, guess what? We got a hoodie.
We got a hoodie from Truck Pack. Well, don't look at it and not show them.
Well, I was looking at
stingy.
We looked at it first last time. How you gonna read it? Backwards.
You gotta show the front. See what I mean?
Truck Pack.
Exactly.
And in the back, it says, "Careful around my truck. Damage doesn't cover an ass whipping."
Damage? You mean Obamacare?
Obamacare.
Because this guy can read too.
I'm going to school for cars, not reading. Wait, Obamacare isn't even around anymore, is it?
Well, it is kind of
a little outdated.
No, it's still kind of partially in.
Okay.
Oh, about the special toolkit for the timing for a 6.7 Cummins. The timing on one, I haven't had to mess with one of those. Not on the timing of them.
Shut up, Andy. All right, next up, we got some. You read it. Apparently, I can't read.
Manit's Mega Shine multi-purpose car, truck, and motorcycle detailer. Conditions and protects, cleans, neutral scent, showroom level shine, and lasts twice as long.
So basically some armor all.
Yep. Pretty much. All-in-one detailer. Bam.
Got
some cup coasters.
Cup holder coasters.
Inside your truck.
Got a
S&B intake
zip bag. Full string bag.
Well, that's nifty. Wow.
There's information. Oh, there's a 15% off code for the Mega Shine. And 15% off a set of Gate King tailgate
cool
stuffs.
Oh, Chris, you're talking about the lifters for the buckets in those, not the timing. So if you ever want to replace lifters in a Cummins engine, it is the most ghetto fabulous tool that you'll have ever really worked with. So in a Cummins engine, camshaft in the middle, buckets are into the block right above it.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to be put in from the opening that the cam goes in. So how do you change those out? Well, you have to, the top of the buckets have a little hole in them. So you literally, this kit is a bunch of rubber bands and 12 dowel rods. You tap these dowel rods into the holes that go into the caps there. Mm-hmm. So it holds them in place. And then you take two of them together, rubber band them together so they don't fall down in. And then after all of the bucket lifters have the dowels put into them, then you take the cam out. And then once you take the cam out, that whole cam hole opening is wide open. Then you have this little carrier system. And it's a little carrier about this big, and it's the same, ish diameter, half moon of the cam opening.
Mm-hmm.
And you slide that into the cam hole. So you slide it back to where the farthest back lifters are, unrubber band those dowels, and pull out the dowels. So then the buckets fall down in to your little carrier,
and then you pull
you pull it with the string and pull them out.
That does sound stupid.
It's beyond stupid. But if you ever have to do freaking lifters in a Cummins, I'm sorry. It's comical. You get a look at that tool. You're like, what is this? I'm holding sticks and rubber bands, and that is legit a special tool from Chrysler.
I don't think I ran across that.
All right, thanks for coming in, Kevin. Appreciate it.
See you, Kevin.
If you want to blast the cleanup ports on. Yeah, it is ridiculously funny if you ever have to use one. Thankfully, in the shop, I've never had to use it. I did in, training, and everybody just started laughing once you had to do that. And, thankfully in the shop, I've never had to do it. But we got our special tools done last week.
Thank God.
Because having shop foreman responsibilities, we were in charge of doing all of the special tools and all of the cataloging for it. So in our shop, we've got special tools that are dating back to 1985. I think we found some.
Pretty close.
85, 86. And all of these special tools have not been cataloged or found their places in the last 10 years. So after all was said and done and we cataloged all of these and found their exact placements, we had right around 3,200 tools that we had found. And then had to catalog where they were at, put them in spreadsheet, and then match one tool to another back and forth with Chrysler's required list. And then in the end of that, we came up $8,000 short.
Yeah.
It kind of sucked.
I hope we don't have to do that ever again. I don't wish that on my worst enemy to have to catalog that much shit.
Wayne's World or Excellent Adventures? I'm gonna have to go with the Canoe.
Wayne's World or Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna have to go Kanunu, Bill and Ted.
See, I watched the shit out of Wayne's World when I was a kid.
I did not.
I did. That was my jam.
Dude, what's my tattoo say? Dude, what's my? Oh, that's not that movie.
That is a completely different movie.
I messed that one up.
Dude, where's my car?
Dude, where's my car?
That doesn't even have any of the guys in it from the movies we're talking about.
Oh, I know.
Where did that come from?
It's way out in left field. I have to go to class next week. NVH, been trying to get into that class. Seriously? NVH for a year? So you are going to pull your hair out when it comes to that class, Chris. They are going to fill your head with some mass loads of calculations and hertz frequency vibration and those kind of calculations, and it's going to go in this year, out this one. It was probably one of the most monotonous classes we've ever been through. They give you a cerometer for that, show you how to use some chassis ears, which hopefully you know how to use those. But a cerometer, yeah, it's an exciting adventure.
Although you had to break one out the other day.
Yeah, I did have to use a cerometer legit for a star case. Special tools always find their way into text boxes. That's why we have a check-in, check-out sheet now that we have to use.
Are any Harbor Freight tools acceptable? Definitely not die grinders.
I have one set of Harbor Freight tools that I still use, and is the extended needle nose pliers with the curved hose hook end.
Those came from Harbor Freight?
Those came from their Pittsburgh brand. So yeah,
I guess so. I use those things all the time.
That was probably one of the only Harbor Freight tools that are in my box. That's one of those tools that, are you ever going to break those, even regardless of what brand they are? No, you don't use them enough to really break anything.
The only thing I've got from Harbor Freight that's actually been halfway decent is that little mini torch I bought for $15.
We're not even going to call that one decent. It wouldn't light the other day.
Yeah, it did. It was out of butane.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure.
This guy, I swear.
Yep.
If it's not Kyle's tools, it's crap.
No. Mine just seemed to work better.
Whatever.
Chrysler Specialty Tools for the 9 1/4 rear end. So he has the long extended bar with the 6-sided, I think, end to it for adjusting the caps with a ratchet. That's just about the only real special tool you have to have for those. There are other special tools for setting up that axle, but you can kind of fudge your way through if you know what you're doing with an American axle. But that's the one tool you absolutely have to have. And surprisingly enough, I think that one made its way into one of the techs that left recently into his box. So it had to be added to the list of stuff that we needed.
Mm.
Yep. A lot of the Chrysler techs throughout the mid to early 90s and stuff, when those American 9 1/4, 10 1/4 axles came out, they all bought their own because they were having to do pinion bearings left and right, because there was an issue with a couple of them in the early years where the pinion bearings weren't set up right. The yokes had an issue, so they had to get those. They were using them left or right.
How many UGGs on a pinion flange after replacing just the seal?
So you don't just guess at the UGGs. If anybody does pinion seals, you use a chisel, and you mark the pinion, and you mark the pinion nut, so it goes on as many UGGs as it takes to line up your notches.
Yep. We didn't do that in school, but you taught me that.
Yeah. School ain't going to teach you that one.
No.
They're going to be like, no, you got to take it out. You got to replace the crush sleeve.
Yep.
And then you have to tighten it down to 275 foot-pounds.
Yeah. We had to get the freaking huge torque wrench he had out, too.
Like the Jesus bar?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to do that on on a rear end that's bolted to a bench
And not a truck.
and not a truck. That was fun.
Yeah. Big old bucket of nope.
Which is better between air ratchet or electric ratchet, no screw or to unscrew or screw?
So better is going to be relative in that term. I use my electric one more often just because of the ease of use. I can hurry up, reach in, grab it, take it over to a vehicle, zip, 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 be done. Now, if I'm talking about like I'm going to need a hard to turn bolt down inside of this area, the Snap-on air ratchet is going to be twice to 3 times as strong. The Snap-on electric ratchets, I'm not impressed by them. If I had the choice, I don't know if I would buy them again.
I'm impressed by the quarter-inch one.
The quarter-inch one, that one is good because you're talking quarter-inch fasteners, and we really don't have that huge of a need.
Yeah, but that 3/8 one's kind of lacking.
3/8 one, they don't work so bueno. I don't think they have as much balls as they should have.
Would you buy the Milwaukee battery ratchet? I've actually contemplated doing that.
I want to get a hold of one of them, the fuel one for the 3/8 at least, because like I said, the quarter-inch one, I'm super happy with the Snap-on. It works fantastic. Plus the head of the Snap-on one is the same size as the head of the lower end torque Milwaukee one. If you go up to the fuel, which has the torque to match, the head on those is a lot thicker. So I'm not sure about that one. Yeah, there always comes at a time and a place for needing the air. Now, the electric tools are definitely moving forward in the industry. The electric tools, especially in the brushless lines, the Milwaukees, some of the DeWalts, the Ryobi's have moved into the brushless stuff, but they're coming up in the world. And since I got my 1/2 inch, that's not the fuel, that's the low line one.
No.
Since I got my 1/2 inch Milwaukee Impact, I have gotten my PT850 out one time, and that was to do the video that I just posted the other day. Yeah, that's the fuel one. See how big the head is? Quarter-inch Milwaukee was awesome. I will have to try that one out.
Thanks, Josh.
Late again, Andrew.
I've been working
that's
on
cool. Nice bird. Look at that. Truckmaster coming in from left field. Dude, this beard, I do it all for the show, man. It works fantastically. So if you guys haven't checked out Truckmaster's channel, it's a really awesome channel. He does a lot of really cool diesel stuff with his Duramax. He just put a pretty badass 68 millimeter turbo from Ryan's Diesel Service in. He dropped that video today on the install of that one. That thing sounds amazing, man. I'm kind of jealous of that one. I kind of wish the truck sounded like that.
So should I invest more into air tools or start over with cordless?
Now, your version of start over. So I know when you were in, they were in the 7.2 volt line. So those are out. So you're in your electric line. If you're going to be getting into doing everyday things, like back into like shop every day, you're going to have both. They're like Chris said earlier, there's a time and a place for it. But actually, there are some shops, larger shops out west right now, that are giving techs tool allowances for upgrading their electric tools and going to the newer electric impacts, because there's more issues with air. You drag your airlines over customers' cars. You trip on them. More of them break more often. So there's more issues in a shop with the airlines. So the more often you use battery-powered things, they're giving, I guess, techs tool allowances for those. Not happening here, of course. Still got to buy whatever you want, and that's all you ever get. You think that blue drivers checking details? I'm not sure what blue driver is. Yeah, exactly. There's some things that you just aren't going to be replacing when it comes to air things. That and I don't know about that.
I don't know either. I mean, it's got good reviews, but
well, in the airline, like you're not going to find an electric impact air hammer. You know, those air hammers. If you find an electric one that's going to have that, that hasn't come to market yet. But it would be neat to see it. Oh, the OBD2 scanner. So I did a review on one that was like it, but it was Wi-Fi based and not Bluetooth. The problem that you're going to run into with the Bluetooth or the Wi-Fi OBD2 scanners, just the little ones that plug right into the ports, is you pay for it, but that's not your last cost. You pay for that, then you have to get the smartphone app that coincides with it to be able to do everything that you need to do. So the initial cost, you have a free app, and then if you want to clear, you can't clear codes with a free app. Any of the OBD2 based apps for the phones or Android or whatever, you have to pay to be able to do certain functions, which includes clearing codes. You can't clear codes with the base programs on it. That was the main issue I had with those.
This one here says no in-app purchases or subscription fees.
Now see, that one, the blue driver, they have their own app. Like it's their app.
Right. That's what it says. No, that's what it says. You download the Blue Driver sensor and Blue Driver app on iTunes. No in-app purchases or subscription fees.
But how much is that one?
$100.
$100
on Walmart.
$100 for a Bluetooth app driver for your phone.
And the app's free.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I have not
checked
them
out,
out,
have us send this one.
I don't know.
Blue Driver, if you're watching, we'll review it.
What's that? That would only be a dream for most techs. Yeah, it doesn't happen here. That's for sure. We don't get tool allowances. Use your 3/8 impact swivel sockets more than your normal 3/8 impact. Yes, indeed. I always am using my 3/8 swivel impacts, and my 3/8, just my deep ones, I use those second amount. And for some reason, this Yahoo likes getting out shallow impact sockets that he'll get them out and you're like, I can't reach with the nut where I'm at.
Don't judge me. He always
has to put them back. I don't know why you bought those. Well, they came with the kit, but they don't.
I didn't buy them. They came with
the 3/8 swivels. I use those literally every day.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. You only have normal 3/8 impacts. You're gonna cream your jeans when you get a hold of the swivel ones. Cream your jeans. They work amazingly. Now, the other thing that I did recommend getting, they have chrome 3/8 swivels also, those sockets. I bought the small 5-piece metric set of those just for doing hub bearings in like GM vehicles and certain other front wheel drive hub bearings, because the hub retainer bolts are so close to the axle that the impact swivel sockets, they have the larger collet on the back end, and there's not that much room to get that socket into where you need to. Now, the chrome swivels, they are like a standard 3/8 swivel, where the actual driver portion of it is the same size as the collet end. So you can get them into a tighter place, like between an axle and the bolt to remove the front hub bearing.
That's it. I had to put the training wheels on my swivel sockets jet thermostat the other day.
Yeah, we have to put training wheels on swivel sockets.
Well, it's just for that one that I couldn't see, that blind one.
Mm-hmm. The Torque Free app allows you to clear codes. See, when I did the test, it was about 2 months ago, I went through every single iPhone-based app through the App Store for the Wi-Fi OBD2 reader that I had at the time. It was only like a $19. I think it was Autel or Topdon, one of the two, just cheap OBD2 reader, and not one of the free apps there was able to clear codes. But that was just my experience and what I had at the time. I am not sure based on any of the newer stuff that's out right now. You have the same set just for hub bearings? Yeah, exactly. I just bought that set of chrome 3/8 swivels for hub bearings because that's what fits there. Haven't broken one either. That's why, because it's an Android app.
Oh, we have an Android right here.
Everybody's got to be special.
Yep. I'm the only Android person.
What's the deal on the 3/8 drive? TLF 72 ratchets. How do you make it from 1/4 inch into compact 3/8? I don't get the fad of everybody swapping out their guts for making a little 1/4 inch a bigger 3/8 in that area. I haven't ran into the need to swap the guts out of the ratchet and a 1/4 inch to make it a 3/8 head yet.
Why would you want to?
I don't know. I guess there are some applications in which that really is a need, but I have not run into that application need yet. So I haven't moved into trying that. Buddy from Costa Rica. Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
Robert, you're not too poor. You're just too smart.
Mm-hmm.
Does your set have a 16 millimeter?
No. No, it is 13. I want to say it's 13, 15, 17, or 13, 14, 15, 17. It's something
Same one I got.
those lines. No, the 3/8 chrome one.
Oh.
Make sleeves the turn. So the 3/8 would be cheaper and a little small amounts for it. Yeah.
Do you ever need a 16? Not very often.
I haven't ran into a need for the 16. Bolts. I could see that one, Doug, where you need to get the bell housing bolts out, or maybe transfer cases if there was even enough room to permit that ratchet. I could see that one, but I'm always one for putting an extension on a swivel on an extension with a swivel on the end to get into those hard to reach places, kind of janking it up.
3 simple tips for an entry-level tech.
3 simple tips for an entry-level tech.
1, go back and watch the video we did over.
No. I would say first off would be finding an employer that has some way for you to do hands-on training with a good, experienced master technician, because you can read books till your cheeks turn blue, and you'll get book smart, but the hands-on is always going to be ages and levels over the hands-on training.
And I will agree with that.
Yeah, you can read books all the time, but until you get the hands-on training, especially when it comes to flat rate, you need a good mentor, a good technician to be able to show you the ins and outs of that. You also have to have the drive to want to learn and want to perform better.
Wish I had a good mentor.
Fucker. We're gonna see how good he is.
Hey,
so that would be.
How was my last week?
Yeah, the tech helper, tech assistant, definitely. So that would be 1. 2 would be.
Don't feel like you're a know-it-all.
Yeah, always. Well, that would go into the lines of always be learning, always be getting certifications, always be moving yourself and your knowledge forward. You if you don't go to classes and trainings every single year and you stop learning, you are putting yourself on the lunch line right away. You become obsolete, and when you become obsolete, your employer doesn't need you as much anymore. So your job isn't that important. So you better learn more than every other guy in there and be better trained than every other one. Want to be trained.
Paul says 3 simple tips for an entry-level tech. Never pass up an opportunity to take a leak. Never trust a fart, and never take a hard-on for granted.
Let's see. And then we need a third one. My third one would be, I could throw tools in there, but you all know my philosophy on tools. Get what you need while, regardless of what it's going to be. But I would say the third most important one would be always be moving. Most technicians are going to be flat rate. If you're ever sitting or standing around, you're losing money, and it's wasteful to you and your employer. Always be on the go, thinking about your next car you're working on, doing multiple things, multitasking, trying to do that as best you can. And the more you move on in your career, the better you're going to get at doing the multitasking, getting parts ready for certain jobs, knowing how these jobs work, and getting the tools out that you know that you'll need for those certain jobs. Yeah. There you go. Don't go into debt with the tool trucks. Yeah, not big debt. Now, you're going to have some kind of debt. Like, you're going to have a tool truck account. That's why they have them. They're interest free. Don't go huge into it, but be your own advocate for how much money you make. Don't spend stupid money if you don't make good money.
Right.
See, the Honda guy likes the last tip. Just the last tip. Just the tip.
The last third of it.
Yep. Let's just.
It does help.
Yeah. Yeah, it's late. It does help. But yes, electrical and electronic skills are absolutely necessary in almost every version and every part on the car anymore. When you go and take ASE tests, I don't know if you've taken any ASE tests anymore or yet, but when you go to take them, especially like the automatic trans and the AC version of the ASE testing, 90% of that one is diagnosing electrical issues with pressure switches, sensors, head units. You're going to have electrical and electronic diagnostic skills in every portion of the car anymore. Hell, brake pads have sensors in them now on 80% of cars. So you can't do anything without having some kind of a sensor and knowing how to diagnose those sensors.
Yeah, it's not like the old vehicles where it's just lights and that's it. So I mean, there's so much more involved with diagnosing electrical issues. People blow fuses and then they try to do other things, and it's just you got to know what you're looking at when it comes to electrical to be able to diagnose it, and having that knowledge does help.
Which is better, a tire shop or a lube shop? I'm not going to throw in my 2 cents on that because I've never worked at either one. So I'm not going to say one or the other or neither or both because I can't say that I have had experience in those. I know that it would be a little bit harder because they're going to be all makes and models. Whatever comes through the door is what you get to work on. But when you work in a lube shop or a tire shop, you always have the availability to say, we can't figure that one out. We need special tools. Send it to your dealer. Now, when you work at a dealership, you don't have that luxury because you're the end of the line. You have to figure it out. There's no questions about it. You have to do it, and you have to figure it out, and you have to do it right because you are the one that they're going to. Yep.
Where can you find electrical circuits of cars for common people? depending on how old it is, you can still buy books on vehicles. They'll give you some general schematics and stuff like that.
Hayes manuals. They have electronic versions of Hayes manuals online.
Didn't you have a website contact you that had?
Yeah, but they never contacted me back.
I'm just saying though.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look online, you can. I mean, Google it.
Shops have their own online wiring diagram stuff, but you're not going to be finding very many free ones, at least not easily. You might have to do some digging to find wiring diagrams, but they're not going to be free.
Yeah.
Zach asked, how did I get started into YouTube? Luck. Boredom. Last winter, I bought the Duramax and was bored out of my mind because winters in Ohio suck. So I'm like, we're going to do some upfits and some little things to the Duramax. Added that Trek step to it, put it on YouTube. And then when the Snap-on rock and roll cab truck came, did, a couple of videos on that one. And those videos took off. And guess what? People actually liked the same kind of stuff that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of stuff took off, and I just kind of built from there.
Yeah, as for your wire diagrams, you're just going to have to search for your make and model of vehicle, and you'll find a pay site to purchase them. We don't have a specific one, but you'll just have to Google for that. Turn until snaps and back off quarter. You forgot the middle part of that. You turn it till it snaps, then you say, oh shit, then you back off a quarter.
Tell us the website. I know, what was the one site? See, a lot of the wiring diagrams that we use are going to be through, what's the one we use for our pastimes?
Bulldog.
Bully Dog. Yeah, Bulldog Security. They have a lot of wiring diagrams, colors, and stuff like that, mostly for wiring in stereos, remote starters, but that shows a lot of things. As far as in-depth wiring diagrams, I'm not sure, because I've always had a version of Schottky or Mitchell that's been at my disposal. Now, if you go to Schottky, Mitchell, those things are going to be pretty costly. It's at least a couple $100 a month just for their subscription fees on that one.
Honda Guy says if you need a website developer, I know a reputable person, also a great graphic designer who prints.
Yeah. I might be getting a hold of you there, Honda Guy.
For the print?
Something along those lines.
So you need a website done. I can do that.
Yep, the YouTube stuff, I was very surprised at how much it's taken off to what I thought it was going to do. Originally, I was thinking that this channel was going to do 200-300-ish subscribers, something along those lines. And then I got started talking with Josh, the Truckmaster, and we did a video together, and things kind of took off more. I started doing some tool videos. They took off even more. Started doing some lifted trucks and stuff for the dealership that I work at, and those things did amazing. Sitting at 8,134 subscribers now.
Yep.
That is pretty awesome. So we're going to give away one of these truck packs. I know you guys, I don't know if you are wanting them for the size of hoodies that they are, but I'm going to give one away regardless. So if you don't want to be in the drawing, then don't answer the question. But I am going to ask a question, and we can see who answers it. And whoever answers it first, that comes up on my screen. Now, you guys realize that some guys, you get chat questions, whatever, in different areas. I've got top chat up on my screen. The first one we see.
Should we say the question, or should we type it in and hit enter and go from there?
No, I'm going to say the question, and then it's going to show up here. So whoever answers the question first it's going to be right there. So my very first car that I owned was orange, and it was an American-based company, and the car was a Javelin. What was that car manufacturer who made the Javelin in 1972? Chris coming out, swinging hard. Chris M takes the win.
Mac, GMC,
GMC. Nope, it was a
Ford.
1972 AMC AMX. Was my very first car that I owned. Big bad orange with 3-inch side pipes.
What's up, Warren?
So Chris M is going to take that one home.
Now,
So,
he has a decision to make.
do you want the truck back one, or do you want the diesel crate one? I'll send you the whole box, everything that's in the box. So you let me know which one you want, and then and then email me or message me on Instagram an address where I can send it to, and it will come your way. I appreciate it, guys. No problem, man. I'm glad to be able to help out a whole bunch of techs, especially when you're starting out. Another thing, if you guys didn't know, when I started off my automotive career, I went to school, and I was pretty good friends with one of our professors. So one of my first things that I really wanted to do was become a teacher. Which one?
Which one is what again? So the truck pack had the bag, the coasters, and
the interior
spray,
the
and
S&B bag,
the
pistons, and
the Obamacare damage hoodie.
Yep.
And then the other one just has a diesel crate with the turbo on the back of, or the diesel
size
crate
matters
with the turbo, and the vinyl sticker,
and Diesel Crate magazine,
and a diesel crate magazine,
or Diesel Power
whatever
magazine.
it is, magazine.
Mm-hmm. Finished an antenna on a Tahoe. What's your best experience being a security officer? Only because he worked security there for a while also. There was quite a few bad experiences with security, but that's for another day and another dollar story. I worked security before I worked in automotive. I was going to be a police officer. I was in training for that. And
Officer Beard.
Yep. And needless to say, that's not what I wanted to do with my life. So I switched up careers for a third time and went into the automotive field. But anyways, back to my story. When I went through school and all, I originally wanted to get out of school, take a couple years, be a tech, and then I wanted to go back into teaching. I really enjoyed that atmosphere and all, but within three years of being out of school, I priced myself out of being able to go back to be an instructor. I started making more money, or the same amount of money as what the instructors were making. So for me to take that big of a pay cut to go back to be an instructor, it wasn't great for my family. It would have been a good choice. But now I'm able to train some yahoos like this guy in the shop. So that was helpful there.
He just wanted a good laugh. Paul Blart, Mall Cop. All right. There's your
Chris M's taking the
truck back. Also, we just gotta open it back up and sign the lid.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh wait, we got Sharpie right there. We
got one.
We can do that right now.
So, how do I sign it?
Yeah, with the Sharpie.
Well, no, so when somebody comes up to me and they say, "Oh, you got a signature from," not Kyle, like that. We got to find, and I got to figure out a signature for the Rust Belt Mechanic. This is going to be number one. Chris, you're going to get this. This is the very first ever Rust Belt Mechanic
Autograph.
signature. There it is.
Okay. I guess I'm mine.
And then the first ever Captain Ron
Here.
signature is going on this one too. Draw a dick on it. No balls.
A dick with no balls?
No
Okay.
balls.
Do it. I'll do it. I don't care.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
I believe in magic
Mark,
in a young girl's
where are
heart.
you getting these questions from? Are
He's
you just going into
He's
Google?
He's
question
Googling
answer?
question.
Are you just going through a Google questionnaire? Like, is that what's going on here? I think Mark was like one of my original like trainees.
Oh,
He
yeah?
was an hourly guy in the shop. Mm-hmm. That Honda guy.
No. Too bad he switched.
He
Makes.
jumped ship
He jumped ship.
when I left, though. I mean, I don't blame him.
Do you know where Sydney, Ohio is? Yes, we do. Should we answer that?
Mhm.
Do we know where Sydney, Ohio is?
Yeah, it's like 15
literally
minutes
15 minutes.
away from here.
That
Everybody
way.
knows that we're in Pickwa, Ohio. I say that on like 37 videos.
That's true. So yeah, 15 minutes that way.
Okay, Chris. Yeah, send me the info, and I'll send that out to you Monday.
I drink the water south of Pickwa. You get the Pickwa runoff.
Down the river. I know, I did. But you know what? You got to look out for number one sometimes. And at the time, the service manager that we worked for didn't give much of two shits about me. So I jumped ship, went and made more money, and then got hired back by said service manager because he knew that he made a mistake.
I say, what is your vape setup?
I don't know, the one that the vape store guy sold me because my old
All
one
right,
broke.
here, I'll answer this. So he has got an iStick Power, eLeaf iStick Power. He is sub-ohming with a 0.2 ohm coil. And he is running basically scope flavored juice.
Mighty Menthol.
It literally tastes like scope. Mine, on the other hand, is a smock. Mine is not a sub-ohm. Mine is actually a 2 ohm coil. And I run a Blueberry Frost.
Blueberry frosted
Whatever.
scope. It is
It,
kind of like Coke, kind of like scope. It leaves your mouth all
It's literally
fresh and so
scope.
clean.
It is literally scope.
Mm-hmm.
You could take scope and pour it in there, and you drive a Subaru.
I miss that Subaru. No, I don't drive a damn Subaru. I blew up my Subaru, and then we sent it back into the dealership to have it fixed, and then it leaked oil out of every orifice after they put a new engine in it. Smoke Alien is the bomb. He drives
a Mini. We do have
Actually, we have a Mini, but that Mini Cooper, it's our extra vehicle. So that one hasn't been driven more than
I think I drove
10
I drove
miles.
the last.
It's been driven 10 miles in the last probably 2 months. It's just I don't have a need to drive it because I literally live like 5 minutes away from where I work.
Me
so
too.
yeah. So there's not that much need of saving on gas. So I drive my Duramax freaking everywhere.
Apparently I have a turbo Kia.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully within the next 6 months I won't have that Kia anymore.
Regularly broadcasting is possible every week or once a week or a 2 week. I don't know what I do. So I do.
Okay, so to clarify, he asked up here, can you plan a live stream regularly every week?
Oh, I missed that one.
I saw it, but we were talking about other things.
I don't know about every week. See, normally I'm just kind of throwing it in where I'm kind of lacking in other areas, but I'm thinking about doing a bi-weekly live stream. Now, see, a lot of my viewers are out west. I'm not sure where you are at, but a lot of the viewers are out west. So if I did live streams, when I want to do live streams, which is usually like in the morning on the weekend, and nobody would be tuning in. So I need to do them on the weekends, late afternoon or evening. So it would be about this time on a Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure which one of those I want to do yet, but I will probably be doing that.
Jake, I would totally take a Kia Stinger.
A Kia Stinger?
That was the one that was on Grand Tour.
Theirs are pretty pricey too right now.
No, they're like $3,500.
$35,000?
$35,000, I mean. Yeah. Kia, they weren't that bad because I just looked them up the other day.
You have AMC videos coming up in your suggested videos. Yes, you're going to love it. You're going to watch those javelins and those gremlins racing.
$32,900 for a Kia Stinger.
Base.
Still.
Mm-hmm. Who wants that base, though? Sunday man, huh? Yeah, but I mean, are you going to be Well, I guess where Warren's out in the far west is going to be.
Mark asked, are there any good tattoo artists in the Piqua, Ohio area?
My wife.
Yeah.
My wife is a tattoo artist here in the Piqua, Ohio region. She works for Endless Ink in Piqua. You can Google that one. Oh, javelins, how the exhaust goes under the doors. Yeah. So Yoda, my first one, I had my 72 AMX and I wanted side pipes, like way bad. And how they routed the damn side pipes on that. I had full length headers on it. So the headers, they stick back past the motor like 2.5, 3 feet. So then they had another foot of pipe coming off of that. So you got the headers coming back, and then they had to S back forward to the front of the side pipes, and then the side pipes were the full length. So it
seems ridiculous.
Yeah, it was very ridiculous. He's still working. Well, in your neck of the woods, it's what, like 5 o'clock in the afternoon? 4 or 5? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he's out West Coast, it's like 5 o'clock.
Grimm's Auto went to Kia school. 6 p.m.
6 p.m. So it must be mountain time.
Mm-hmm. Now, what did Kia school? Yeah, Warren's way out there. He's in the islands.
Oh, Hawaii?
He is in the Hawaiis.
That's right.
He's way out there.
I forgot about that.
Coolest story, huh?
Well, we got to get 25 likes first. We're only at
9.
9 likes.
Yeah, what?
Or right there.
I got all these people in here and only 9 likes. Come on, yo. You're not like 90. You know where the like button is. You know where the subscribe button is. Let's hit the like. Come on.
If you don't know, it's like right maybe there. Ish. In this general area down here. Why are there interstate highways in Hawaii?
That is a good question. That is a very good question. See, I'm gonna tell a good story regardless. You know that one. But
I pointed right at it. I was right. It's right.
Nailed it.
It's right there.
Nailed it. Hit the like button. See that one. So another cool thing that we've had come into the shop recently is a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk with a 707 horsepower Hellcat engine in it. Well, this owner decided that he said F you to the break-in period on the motor and just ran it all out, balls out, right off the bat. So now we're having misfire issues. This thing's got 10,000 miles on it now, and it has bald tires. When I mean bald, like there's like cords sticking out of these tires. So he comes in for the oil change. We know it's misfiring. We got an engine issue and it needs tires. Give him a quote for tires. Tires on this thing are like $2,600. And, you know, it needs tires. Well, he says, well, right now, let's just handle the warranty stuff because I can't really afford that. Bro, you just bought a $98,000 Jeep and you can't afford to put tires on it. Where did this come from? Like, seriously, come on. We got to do better than that. So he wants us to take care of the warranty stuff. So now the warranty issues on this one, we're going to be taking a motor apart on a Hellcat engine. Who wants to see some videos on that one? I think that'll make some pretty badass videos. How about YouTube sub? We'll see whoever's a sub buying fake. Yeah, I heard about that, Yoda. The sub buys, they have people that whatever come from so many other IPs or something along those lines. Was
Hey, this get turned?
Yeah, it did. Because you ran away. We're having a live stream here. And you left live.
For a cookie?
Yeah, for a cookie.
And
And a vape cord because his vape's always dead. So yeah, the purge that Yoda's talking about, they YouTube's going through and doing some kind of magic thing and finding out where all these same IPs and same kind of subroutine sign-ins and stuff are for these guys and who are buying mass loads of
bot accounts?
Yeah, bot account subs. So they're buying subs. So
that's nothing else.
Probably the ones that you will notice they get hit for that. There's a feature on your YouTube account that you can hide how many subs you have. So some of those guys who are hiding subs are probably the ones who are shedding the most out of them. That's what's going to be going down here soon. Yeah, your rich customers being the cheap ones. They got rich for a reason, and that's because they were cheap in certain areas. So yeah, this Hellcat powered Grand Cherokee's in the shop, and it has a misfire on cylinder 6. So one of the other techs, I'm not going to name which or in what dealership, did a check on it at 1,200 miles, had a misfire. They slapped a couple of plugs in cylinder 6 and shipped it on its way. Now, obviously, if you find some nasty grown-ups, you know, all these shit all over a pair of spark plugs in the same cylinder, you'd think there's probably an issue in that cylinder. No. They slapped 2 spark plugs in it and shipped it. And then it came in at 5,100 miles, and I got to look at it. It had those same spark plugs in cylinder 6 with all this oil-fouled, grown-up shit all over the spark plug. And it's obvious oil. So we started a start case on it because that's what my service manager wants done. Deal, we can do that. Started a start case. Star says, hey, we're having a bunch of issues with injectors. We think it's an injector stucking open and just getting a bunch of fuel fouled stuff and building up on it. I'm like, I don't think this is fuel. I'm pretty sure this is oil. I sent pictures and they were like, no, we want you to put an injector in it and 2 new spark plugs and send it and see what the customer says. So now at 10K, 10,000 miles on this Trackhawk, coming back for tires and a vibration issue because he's got junk tires, and do an oil change, which is like a $220 oil change, and notice that there's a misfire. Pull cylinder 6 spark plugs, grown up, oil fouled again. So we obviously know we have an oiling issue on cylinder 6. Likely what we have deduced is this guy said F you to the break-in period on it and ran the balls out on it. So now we've got probably a burnt oil ring something of the such, or a scored wall on the cylinder 6. So we're going to be pulling a cylinder head, pulling the intake, pulling the cover, getting that head off to be able to inspect the cylinder on a Hellcat motor. So I haven't seen any Hellcat motors torn down, at least on YouTube. So that'll be a cool first.
Did you mention about what about the vehicle itself? Like after we said all that?
Mm-hmm. Live channel was JC Smith Projects. I didn't get a tune into the JC Smith one this morning. I saw it pop up, but I was busy helping move furniture. $200 to 300 people in it. Huh. Wow. Yeah, I just had to replace 2 wiring harnesses. Ooh, rodent damage. Now, Chris, the fun one is going to be if you have to replace a wiring harness that goes underneath the Grand Cherokees, especially in the diesel ones, they are having a bad issue on rub-throughs on the right rear subframe area on Grand Cherokee. So if you get DEF pump codes and other pump codes for DEF in the rear, be checking the harnesses that go underneath the vehicle right above the subframe on the right rear of the vehicle. We had to replace one, and it probably took me every bit of 12 hours. So we had to drop, the backside of the trans, the drive shaft, the exhaust, the rear drive assembly.
I remember that.
Everything for this stupid wiring harness.
Yeah, you said that took forever.
Yeah.
Magnums with gauge clusters going in and out. I don't see many Magnums anymore.
No. I do know a buddy of friend of the shop. He's got a Magnum with cluster issues, but I haven't gotten to see it or look at it to be able to tell whether it's got an actual issue or not. So, or what kind of issue it has. I owned a Magnum and I never had a cluster issue.
We've seen Grand Cherokee diesels, haven't we?
Yeah, we've
got a couple.
We've had 3 or 4 of them that we sold. Have you seen car reviews getting arrested in a Hellcat? Tall guy car reviews? Yeah, there was actually quite 2 Hellcat owners this last week who got arrested off of YouTube for street racing. More warranty during. Haven't found anything yet. 90K on it. Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine that ground issues could always be a funky issue for those, or a tip-em, something bust communication-wise, depending on what it's doing for the failure. But I'm not sure. Yeah, his kid was in the car at the time that he was caught street racing. And then obviously they look back on his channel. Hey, look, you've been street racing a bunch and you're big dum-dum. The extended warranties on cars, it depends on what kind of a car, and it depends on what your budget is. A lot of guys who buy $60,000 diesel trucks, yeah, obviously they've got some money. And if you can afford to buy that, you can usually afford to, be able to fix the diesel trucks when they start breaking. Diesel fuel injectors, especially on the newer ones, are almost in the $1,000 piece range. So you've got to think about what the stuff costs to what you're buying.
We had to work on a Canadian or Mexican Jeep vehicle that was imported.
Not a Jeep, no.
Yeah, that.
But a truck, yes. We had a nightmare issue with a truck that the guy had a cluster issue, a cluster go out on it. We were trying to order for a cluster for it, and it was wrong part. Well, come to find out, we're getting the wrong part because it was a Canadian-built truck, and the cluster wasn't compatible. It was actually different Canadian-built clusters to American build of clusters. So we actually had to call a dealership.
That was a Kia. That was that Kia.
I'm talking about a truck that we had in the shop before you were around.
Oh.
That we actually had to call a dealership in Canada and get a cluster sent for that. Yeah, it was a clusterfuck. It was bad stuff. I'm eating my cookie now.
Okay.
You're just trying to talk.
I don't know what I'm gonna talk about. Like horror stories with Kyle and Ron. I don't have any horror stories as of yet. Give me time. I'll have horror stories.
We gotta talk about something while you eat a cookie.
How's that cookie?
No question.
Well, I can tell everybody that I made Dean's List.
They did.
I made Dean's List at school
Mm-hmm.
for my good grades.
He's smart cookie.
I see what you did. I see what you did there. But yeah, other than that, just
Car's warranty. Yeah, we see some people with that. They suck to deal with.
Christmas gift ideas for shop buddies.
Chipotle gift cards?
Gift cards to
Always
food
badass.
for lunch.
I gave my shop buddy a Harley gift card.
Blow up dolls.
Blow up dolls.
Did Ron bake weed into those cookies? I didn't make those cookies. My wife made those cookies.
Maybe.
And no, there is no edible reefers in there or anything like that. Snap-on socks. Yeah, those are good. Those are good purchases.
Snap-on socks are always great, and they're like $6. So, Snap-on socks, I always wear those. Those are awesome. Normally I'd say like Snap-on gift card, but that doesn't give you too far.
No, Snap-on gift card will like make a small payment on your.
Or if you want to get a really good gift, you're gonna go to like your local flea market or to Harbor Freight and buy one of every version of 10mm socket that you can find. Put that in a golden box, spray paint it gold, and hand that to
Or
them.
you can just go to AutoZone and buy the $20 set of them.
Yeah, at AutoZone, they've got like a $20 set of every kind of
It's
snap.
it's quarter inch and 3/8 swivels, deep well, medium well, and magnetic for like $20. I've picked it up and actually thought about buying it several times. And they are as good as we say they are. Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go buy work socks at like Walmart, like you get the ones that are actually say work socks. They last for a little bit, but the ones from Snap-on, they're thick, they're soft, and they're comfortable, and they last.
So the Snap-on socks that I have both the larger, the tall ankle, whatever, with the tall leg socks, and then I also have their no-show socks too. And I've worn both kinds of those for about a year now, some of them, and I have yet to have a hole or rub through or anything like that in any of those socks. So they last. That's what I like about them.
About the only equivalent to a sock that you're going to find is going to be like a thermal sock, like those super thick ones.
Now Matco does have a comparable sock as well. They've got a bamboo sock that I was looking at this last week. The only thing I didn't like about it was it's like $8.99 for a pair of socks. So like $3-4 more.
That compression socks. They're kind of like compression socks. I mean, they're not super tight, but I mean,
they're not like compression socks. They're like, if you've ever tried some of like the Carhartt or the job site socks, they're just generally thicker quality, like the bamboo style socks, then that's what they're like. So what's more annoying than a person? Facebook doesn't bother talking to you first. No. Yeah, that would be ignore. Yep, that would be a quick ignore on Facebook for that one.
What is your favorite, most used tool from day one that is your everyday go-to tool and no, not your ratchet?
From day one. So it would have had to have been there from 2008. My number one tool from that I still use on almost a daily basis would be I would have said the ratchet first because I've got a good story to go with the ratchet, but we'll tell that one next, I guess. But it's gonna have to be my 3/8 air powered Impact. I've had it rebuilt twice since I first owned it in 8.5, 9 years of owning it. So, you know, it's been hammered on quite a bit. But it's been one of my go-to tools since I've started working now, because like I said earlier, the electric game of both Snap-on and Milwaukee have come up. I don't get it out very often anymore, like hardly ever. But that was in my beginning years pretty awesome.
And they want to know your story about your ratchet.
My ratchet. So my 3/8 swivel head ratchet. I was 2 weeks in, and I fucked up like 2 cars in one day. So this ratchet, I'm putting batteries in a Dodge Diesel, and I get the one battery put in, and then I go to hook up the second battery, and I don't know, somebody started talking to me. I wasn't paying attention, and I slipped, so I set my tools down, and my ratchet got set between the 2 battery posts and arced and sat there just getting real hot and just arcing back and forth. So my 3/8 ratchet has some weird markings and, you know, arc weld melted spots in the middle of it.
I don't know what I have, is it?
No,
that's the other one.
No, it's the
the non-grip one.
Yeah, the non-comfort grip. So I decided to try welding on that one.
How about you, Captain?
All right, Warren. Take it easy, man. Get back to work. But then the same exact day, which was like my 2 weeks into working, I decided, I don't know, I was also being extra dumb that day, and I was working on a PT Cruiser, and I was putting a starter in it. Put the starter in, put everything back together, put the battery back in, walked away. About 10 seconds later, my mentor at the time, "What's that smell? What's that smell?" Look back over, and there's smoke starting to come out from under the hood. Holy shit, I had hooked up the battery backwards. So he came over with a pair of dikes, because the freaking terminals were like glowing, with a pair of dikes, and clipped the ground wire and cut it short. And at that point, luckily, I didn't fry a PCM or anything. All I did was had to put a new battery cable end on it and fried the fusible link going to the starter unit. Yep.
That's fun.
So don't hook up your battery backwards.
Right.
Or your jump pack.
Shut up. Justin wants
to know.
That's
a story.
No, we're not telling a story.
That's a story.
No, we're not telling a story. Justin wants to know what my favorite go-to tool since day one. Well, day one wasn't too long ago, considering it was like...
Well, that means you should be able to remember.
A year and 7 months ago. So a year and 5... Wow, has it been a year and 5 months already?
Yeah.
Good Lord. So obviously ratchet's always number one, but that's out of the question. What do I use practically every day? It's been in my toolbox since day one. Man,
that's not a ratchet.
That's not a ratchet. That's a tough one. I mean, what else do I use? I mean, it's been in my...
I know what it is. Your biggest go-to tool is your damn screw gun.
Yeah, I mean, that was in there from day one.
Even on things that he shouldn't be using a screw gun on, like trying to take some... I know you don't have an Impact.
When it's all I got. It's all I got.
That's all you got. So he's sitting there, and I can hear the clutch on his on his screw gun going.
Okay.
And he's using it like a ratchet to
Okay,
take some of
so-
these rusted screws out
So
of a cover and an engine.
so that was like the very like within the first couple months of me actually having it and not really thinking about it. So yes, I admittedly did that, but I have since learned most of the time that not to do that. But yeah, my 14.4 screw gun that I've got, I use it all the time. I'd say between that and my 1/4-inch air ratchet, because I use that thing quite often too.
Yeah. Something that your dad. So I have one tool in my toolbox that was passed down from my dad. It is my hammering
Your impact
screw.
screw gun,
not screw gun,
or not
but
screw gun, but impact screwdriver.
to take the screws out of like the hats of rotors and drums and stuff. It was from like the 1960s, still in its little blue tin case and everything with the bits, and still use it all the time. Thank you, Distinct Rides by Davey. Glad you enjoyed the toolbox. Now it's a long video, so make sure you got enough time to go watch it again. I apologize for that video being 58 minutes long.
1 hour later.
Yep. But I took a lot of pride in that one.
If you want a shorter one, go watch mine.
Yeah. That is one thing.
Add some more views to that one.
See, that's the one thing that I didn't get right off the bat. When I started doing the YouTube stuff, I didn't understand quite all the big hype about the toolbox tours. I'm like, man, it is just guys taking a camera and check out these tools I got. Check out these
Look
tools.
what I got.
Close this one, open this one. I didn't get it right off the bat. But then more and more I got into understanding that people want to know about organization, because a lot of the guys that were doing these, they didn't know how to organize jack shit. So the guys that are watching the videos, they've got all their shit just thrown into drawers, and they're like, wow, I need some better. That's a hot mess. I need some better ideas for organizing this shit. So that's why we watched toolbox tour videos. And the first toolbox tour video that I ever watched was from Jim, Mr. JRC54. And that's also what got me hooked on wanting a flatback black toolbox. So I watched that one, and then I'm pretty sure I watched Hard Knox's. Then I watched Justin Dow's, and then I watched Justin ATV's. Those were like the first 4 toolbox tours that I watched when I first started on YouTube.
Justin says, when did we decide that we want to go do this for a living?
So I decided when I was 24 years of age. I had already started school out of high school. I started in for computer technology. That one was crap. So then I started into photography, forensic photography, and then I got into criminal justice. And I made it 94% of the way through my criminal justice degree and started in the police academy and found out that is not the career that I wanted. So at that point, 3rd time wasn't a charm. So we got 4th time was a charm, and started in with the automotive field.
And for me, it was actually kind of on his suggestion. See, I've got a degree, a previous school degree in architectural drafting. I used to be a civil engineer, and I did that for a while and then changed jobs, and then found out I didn't really enjoy sitting in a cubicle for 8 hours looking at a computer doing CAD drafting. So got out of that, went into the cable field, and was a cable technician for about 9.5 years, working for different companies. And when we moved over here to Ohio, I lost my position with AT&T due to a hiring freeze. So I had to go and be a contractor for a cable company. And that was just some stupid long hours, some extra stupid hard work, and not getting enough pay. And a position opened up at the dealership that Kyle works at, and he was like, "What would you think about going to school for an auto mechanic and working at the shop?" And I was like, I don't think I'd have a problem with that. I enjoy working on stuff and taking things apart, and I think that'd be something I'd be interested in. So I pursued school,
rolled
and
the dice,
rolled the dice,
jumped
and
in.
yep, just jumped in both feet and went for an interview. And they started me doing oil changes, and I started school. And
At what age?
At what age? That would have been a year somewhat ago. So that would have been 34.
34 years of age. So it's not too late to get into the biz.
Yeah. So I just
still jump in.
I made the jump, and I don't regret it at all. I'm a lot happier with my position and my job than I think I have been for quite a long time.
Look, Doug thinks I'm too good of a person to be a cop. Oh,
Civil engineers make bank by former fallen law made center. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a full-fledged like designer or anything like that. I was basically the I guess I did some civil engineer work. My architectural background had me doing more residential stuff. Like I worked for a company when I first got out of college. And you go to these subdivisions that build houses, obviously for people to live in. But they have to know where to put them, where to position the house and everything. And my job was basically putting these build orders together for the specific lots. And I did that for a little over a year. So that was a majority of my CAD drafting, my architectural drafting work. So I made pretty decent money. It was a hell of a drive. Like, it was like almost an hour drive to work every day just to get there. And it really wasn't all that feasible, which is why I changed companies, and it kind of led me down the path of, I don't want to do this anymore.
Amen. Find what you like, find what you enjoy, because even if you make all the fucking money in the world, you're not happy in doing it, and then what's the freaking point?
Yep.
It's no fun to go into there and whatever. I wouldn't want to do it. What's the big dream for either one of you? Well, my dream at least has changed since I've become a technician. My employer, thankfully, I was actually talking to somebody about that today. Originally, I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to teach new techs coming in about how to get into the field, how to do things the right way the first time, not piss people off. And that's what I wanted to do. Well, I kind of priced myself out of that. And then I thought it'd be cool to own my own shop, see my name up on a board, own my own stuff, and thought that would be cool. Well, as the last, year or so, I pretty much have been priced out of that one, at least in this area. My dealership thinks that I do good enough work to pay me enough money to, where I would be at owning my own shop anyways. So they like to keep me around. So I guess the big dream moving on from here would be, I'd like to do some bigger, crazy builds for, I guess, paying customers on the side on YouTube. My YouTube stuff I didn't think would take off to what it is. So now that I see that it can progress and move to bigger, better things, then I think that I'm just going to be setting my bar higher here on YouTube and doing some better videos showing guys how to do cool things with some of their careers and with their rides and stuff, and doing some bigger, better builds. I'm wanting to get my own kind of, we're not one of the house that we live in right now. It doesn't have any kind of land, so I can't put my own garage or shop or anything. And I want to be able to have my own shop here at the house to work on my fun projects. So to have my own fun project zone and build whatever the hell I want, which is I got some crazy stuff rolling around up in here for some pretty awesome builds.
I mean, I guess just to touch on mine, I mean, my big dream is honestly, it's kind of a low bar, but something that we really haven't had out of my family is just to live comfortably. Get to the point where I'm making decent money to where I don't have to worry about living paycheck to paycheck or having those issues. And I know this seems kind of simple to a lot of people, but actually owning a vehicle that I would like to have, not buying a car that you have to have out of necessity, but buying something that you want out of simply wanting it. Because I mean, that's what I've had to do in the past, and just having that and being able to provide for my family and do fun stuff like that. Because I'm kind of right there with him. I'd love to get an older car and work on it as well. But
modest and achievable goals. Very much so.
Much.
It's not going to be an F550 with a 12-inch lift and super tubs. No, not going to happen. Distinct Rides asked, first scope, a Vantage Pro or a U scope? So after JRC54 did a review on his most recent U scope purchase, just the one channel U scope, for the price that you can get them off of U-Scope, that thing works pretty awesome. And when you're talking about a Vantage, you're getting a bigger scan tool out and then the leads on top of that. So it's just going to take up more real estate and more room out there. So if you're just going to be scoping one thing at a time, like a single channel scope, I'd be more along the lines of leaning towards the U-Scope stuff.
Aaron asked, what was your first car, automatic or manual?
My first one, which was my AMX, it was an automatic, but that was not my first driving car because I bought that one not able to drive. So my first driving car was a 98 Isuzu Amigo, 5-speed manual. And I took my driving test in a manual. Thank you very much. And I passed that motherfucker 100%.
My first vehicle was it was my first vehicle, but I never really got to drive it. However, I could, was I want to say it was a late 90s S10. That was a manual as well. Now, I didn't get to drive it because whenever I turned 16, my parents bought me a 78 Chevy Impala 2-door that was automatic. So that was the one that I
you making fun of my Amigo. Don't be hating on the Isuzu.
No. But no, my first actual driving car that I had when I was in school was a 78 Chevy Impala 2-door, and it was an automatic. That I sorely miss.
Justin thinks you need to do some stuff on your YouTubes.
Do stuff. What would I do on my YouTube?
Did you start your own?
How to do an oil change on a Kia Rio?
That Kia. I don't know about that yet, but we can be involving Captain Ron on more and more stuff here lately.
I mean, I could try posting stuff. I mean, I don't know what kind of content I could put up there. I mean, it's hard for me. See, here's the difference between Kyle and me. Kyle has got so much more experience and background with vehicles, and he can just spout off information like that, like just off the top of his head. I, on the other hand, I've literally only have a year and a half worth of car experience in my history. Before I got into school and working at the dealership, I didn't do a whole lot on working on vehicles. Like I always took it and had my oil change someplace. If I had work that needs done, I took it to an auto shop. I never really did my own stuff. So, I mean, it'd be a lot more scripted stuff for me, because I'd have to have like someone holding up cue cards saying, read this, so it actually makes sense and I don't look like a dumbass.
I don't know. I guess I've got the silver tongue in that area.
No, probably.
I could sit there and talk about
Well,
stuff for 20 minutes.
we've sat here for almost 2 hours talking
Holy
about shit.
Jeebus, yes, we have. What are you guys doing on a Saturday night watching us yahoos for 2 hours?
I mean, the only other thing I could put on my channel is my other hobby, and that's sometimes playing games. I mean,
this guy's pretty good at video games. I'll give him that. We play video games just to unwind here and there, and dude kicks my ass every time. Every time.
I mean, we could start YouTube live streaming us playing Injustice or something.
we watched us playing some video games and Captain Ron kicking my ass at him. That's what it would be.
RuneScape. No, we're not playing RuneScape.
RuneScape.
God damn it! What the hell?
Doug out of left field.
I'm just gonna. You know what? I'm gonna start live streaming Minesweeper.
Lives, the very world's. I think that would be the world's first live stream of Minesweeper.
I guarantee it's not.
You don't think so?
Nope. I guarantee somebody has done it.
I don't know.
2-player Conker's Bad Fur Day. If I had that game, we would totally play the shit out of that.
I don't know what that is.
Conker's Bad Fur Day was a video game that came out for the Nintendo 64 that was like super raunchy. It's actually a really freaking funny game.
Okay, how about this? We know that the new
That's true. I could get on emulator.
we know that the new Mortal Kombat's coming out.
It is
soon.
coming out.
I think that we should live stream when we do
I really want to
the
get
opening of that.
We could do that. I'd also like to. You probably wouldn't get in playing Smash, but Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's
I mean,
the same general.
we got the Switch. I mean, we could play it. We both could play it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ron should start a channel. Well, I will take that suggestion. I mean, don't get me wrong. I used to be a Twitch streamer. I used to stream all the time whenever I play, whenever we lived in Indiana, and I would live stream playing games and doing some creative stuff. But so I mean, if you really want to see stuff I've done, I mean, you could go find my Twitch channel.
How about this?
But
I think it would actually be some really cool stuff because a lot of the actual, I guess, questions.
what's up, JRC?
Look at him popping
Better late
in.
than never.
Yep. A lot of the actual questions that I get, both on here and on Instagram and stuff, are 90% of the time from newer techs, guys who are just getting started out in the mechanics field.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been through that and I've helped guys go through that. So I have the experience in helping. But I think that it kind of would be cool to get a firsthand view of, you know, as a mechanic, you're like, oh, my mentor kind of tossed me into this job today. I'm just kind of figuring it out, and this is how I go about figuring it out. I don't know. I think that would kind of be some cool videos.
Cool. Do we still have the GoPro?
I still have my GoPro.
Wait, didn't you win a GoPro? Yeah.
I won a GoPro. Mm-hmm.
Brandon's like, I'd be down for that.
Yeah. I think it'd be something kind of cool. Just to show some of your firsts on a lot of stuff. You're like, well, guys, I kind of got thrown into doing a transfer case today. So this is my first.
That's Monday, isn't it?
This will be my first PTU that I've ever done. Somebody's got a 2010 or 11
It's a journey. Yeah.
all-wheel drive that the PTU has to come out of. And Captain Ron's going to get his feet wet and taking that one out. So that's going to be a good one. We could do some stuff like that.
We probably could.
Mm-hmm.
You still have that? We still have all the stands and everything for the GoPro, don't we?
Yeah, I've
All the
got plenty
clips
of
and
stuff
shit.
for that. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Not the journey with the 3.5.
You know what?
What's that have in it?
This actually must be newer than that. It must be like a 14 or something like that because
3.6?
it's a 3.6. And surprisingly, it is a fairly clean car. So all of the exhaust manifold and exhaust crossover bolts are not a rusted pile of shit. So I'm not throwing into the wolves den on that mess. So it's gonna be a good learning experience, but not horrendous.
I'd have to think about. I guess the thing is how to think about filming it. I mean, like,
I
Like
just doing a time lapse and talking a little bit here and there.
that's true.
That's what I'm gonna do on the Trackhawk if I ever get back into it.
Hey, Brandon.
What's up? I just did my first Fiat 500 engine swap. Ooh, that sounds like fun. So if anybody else also didn't know, I owned the very first Fiat 500 Abarth here in Ohio. I got the first one shipped to Ohio back in 2012. The same one that you used to see on the Super Bowl commercial when it debuted. It was black with red stripes with the graphite alloy wheels.
You know what would have been a fun video had we thought about it back then? Because I don't even know if we had the channel going back then. But when I had to take that Renegade apart.
Yeah. We don't have Fiat or anything like that. What are you showing a picture of?
The Renegade that I had to take apart.
Oh.
Remember that new Renegade we had that had to take the entire front half of the vehicle apart?
Yeah, the Fiats, so right now we could probably, you guys saw the in the Milwaukee video that I just did. Brandon was kind of there, and what are you freaking doing? Yep, that kind of fun stuff. So that was Brandon and I's first gig on taking the diesel engine out of a ProMaster. That one was kind of crazy. I'm not too happy about having to work on those too often, but those are just dumb designs from Fiat in the first place.
Eric still says we should do a Hellcat Caravan.
Hellcat Caravan.
Why don't we just get a freaking elephant and put it in the caravan? 1,000 horsepower.
2020 Silverado thoughts. Ugly. I think that the coolest looking Silverados are still the LMLs.
2 words that shouldn't go together.
Hellcat Dart. Disappointing. I don't like the designs, especially the Chevrolet, the GMC. I'm sure the Denali GMCs that are coming out are going to have a little bit different than what they're originally showing. Those will be neat to see, but I don't like the designing of the new Chevys that are coming out. When is Jeep going to make a solid diesel engine? Not for a while, because Jeep is actually going to be putting all of their little eggs in the basket for this new 2-liter direct injected turbocharged with e-torque motor. They're starting to put it in like
everything,
a lot of Wranglers. Well, it's just in Wranglers and Cherokees right now, but I think they're going to be putting that one in quite a few platforms as well. And that, I think if they can get the QC good on it, which I don't know if it's going to be a motor that breaks a bunch right off the bat or not, but I think that's going to end up actually being a good motor for Chrysler. Yep. Thoughts on eco diesels as a tech?
They suck.
Junk. They don't work. They aren't worth the weight that they're produced in. I hate them. They're not very fun. So, buzz.
So in regards to the question I just showed you. So yeah.
Andrew, he's got the right idea. Hayabusa smart car video. I really want one of those. I've thought about doing those for a while, and I'd really love to drive one. I'd love to own one.
Eric says we can play Call of Duty with him. Although you can't play Call of Duty on your TV anymore.
No,
You
it's
can,
like
at least.
impossible. I've got a 70-inch TV down here that's hooked up to um, our theater set up down here. Figure out which way you're going. And it is really, really hard to play Call of Duty on a 70-inch TV. It is.
He says it's hard to play Call of Duty.
Dude,
I
you're
I don't
tracking.
believe it is.
If you have to move your head,
Brendan says Fortnite.
if you have to move your
Cocaine
head
dealer.
back and forth, it's kind of hard to play those kind of games.
Madden 2019, all weekend, baby.
We're all going to be working on autonomous electric cars soon.
You smoking CBD? No, I'm not smoking CBD. Nobody, no, neither of us are.
No. Yeah, electric cars are coming, and I've got one that actually needs worked on. We just got the part for it, so that might be here in the next week or so. We've got a new 2018 or 2019 Pacifica hybrid with a blown up transmission motor unit that needs replaced. I'm going to have to look back through a couple of my training videos for safety and unhooking exactly, because we haven't had one of those in our shop yet. But I think that'll be a neat little project. Do you tell them we're trying to get that diesel Ram lot out to so you can run through it? No, Jim, I haven't brought it up yet because I was I don't want to count my chickens before I actually get them in. So I am hopefully going to be getting anybody who pays attention over to JRC54's channel. He did a walk around of his shop, and outside he's got a couple of customer cars that are kind of left for dead out on the side of his shop. And one of them was a 1999 Ram 3500 Cummins dually. And I have a feeling that I really want to be doing a build on that thing. So it's kind of rusty. It's kind of crusty, kind of like one of the perfect Rust Belt mechanic style vehicles. But I'm thinking about doing a pretty badass build on that thing. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm thinking about doing a lowered hauler out of that thing. I think it'd be a pretty sweet little build.
Volkswagen already said 2026 is going to be the last internal combustion engine.
I doubt it. They're going to push that shit off for another 10 years past that. They'll milk it out for all they could do. Actually, I don't like ever see it down on sale. It's like moving to Canada. Yep. Good luck with that one. I can't do the Fortnite.
I can.
No, I watched you guys playing that shit for like an hour, and that gave me a headache just watching it. That's kind of hard to do.
2 hours and 7 minutes in, dude.
Build it like Mike Finnegan's J-Lo Duramax. I don't know what that is, so I'm going to have to look that one up.
It's Jenny from the block.
Huh?
Nothing.
Okay.
Justin, you want to play Fortnite? You can play with me and Brandon.
Fortnite. Suckers. It's one of those gateway games.
It is. Talk to Brandon about that. Freaking cocaine dealer. Here, let me get you hooked on something, and then never play it again.
See, my PS4 was used as a DVD player primarily in my basement. That's what it was used for mostly. But this last year, I got a new 4K Blu-ray player. So now it's used for that. And my badass PS4 that I built with a big hard drive and stuff doesn't get used too often. My son really likes to play Injustice and what was the other game?
Mortal Kombat.
And Mortal Kombat. So I think we're going to get into some Mortal Kombat again, because I know Mortal Kombat
cool.
11 is going to be coming out here really soon. Those are the worst friends of people. They get you hooked on a game and quit playing with you. Those people. Yeah, those people.
I'm pretty sure Brandon has told me to get off my phone. But
Yeah.
but I don't know who that number is.
I don't know. What changes?
Somebody's watching that says get off the phone. That's from here local. That's all I know.
What changes would you like to make, or videos would you like to do following in the new year? I have like 50 videos that I have.
Live my life.
I have like 50 videos that I have like in my. I get a good idea and I get on my phone and I'm like, ooh, that sounds like a good video, and I'm like, put it into my notes. And if I don't put it into my notes in the first like 2 minutes, I forget about it and it hits me like a brick wall again 2 days later. But I've got quite a few ideas with that and a couple of sponsors. I've got the couple videos coming out for scan tools from Topdon. I'd like to get a hold of a couple of Maxxis ones to be able to do reviews on those. The Duramax is going to have some coming up. I'm going to do a video on winter prepping diesel for that one. I'm still waiting on a couple of parts that I was wanting for that one. I am going to be doing a really cool truck toolbox build. I want to build a custom toolbox for my truck. One with some custom wiring, relays, external speakers, built-in compressor, air tank in it. I think that would be a pretty sweet build, and I'm going to do that one probably first thing in the spring, because I want to be able to do it at home, and it's too fucking cold right now to do it right now in our garage.
Distinct, thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Yeah, man. Definitely. But yeah, I want to do that toolbox build, and then hopefully if we can get this hookup and we get everything figured out with the title and all for this Ram 3500 from JRC, then we're going to be having another diesel truck build on the channel with the Cummins. So that one will be cool. Let's see. What else was on the list of stuff that I really wanted to do? When the new Snap-on 1/2-inch impact comes out, I'm going to be getting the first one of those that comes out. It better come out this year. So to do that, I'd like to go to a couple of tool shows and stuff, tool trade shows, and maybe do some videos live at that. And like I said earlier on in the channel, I really want to go to SEMA. So I think 2019 is the year that I get to go to SEMA.
We've got another school video that we're going to do eventually.
Oh, that's right. We're gonna. We did the video on becoming a beginner mechanic and stuff there, and we got a bunch of questions from that one, and lots of people still asking questions on becoming a mechanic. So I think we're actually going to do a live stream from the tech school here in the next couple of weeks with the automotive professors there, answering live questions on those. So for you guys who are wanting to ask questions of automotive professors, and
may not be until next year,
getting, well, whatever, that's included the next couple weeks, isn't it? It's December, the middle of December. So there'll be a live stream, at least video on that one, so you guys can ask a whole bunch of questions of that one. Yes, Andrew, it's a 5.924 valve.
Justin says fishing, hunting, or clubbing. You can only do one. Go. Like baby seal clubbing?
Or like clubbing. No.
Yeah, you don't do clubbing.
No, I don't do people. I'm like borderline claustrophobic, and I don't do lots of people.
I do fishing, though.
It's hard to do in that kind of atmosphere. I can do like trade shows. Like I went to I went to the Detroit Auto Show this year, and that wasn't bad. But those are some huge freaking buildings.
I don't know who's texting me, but shut up.
We come out to Portland or
I
Seattle.
do what I want.
I don't know what's out in way out in the West Coast. We're far east side. Yep. I threw that one.
Don't do that again. Might have been the whitest thing you've ever done.
That's right. But yeah, there's a big list of videos that I really want to do. I know I want to do a video on doing cars for family members. People always ask me what I charge and doing side work and stuff for family members, and I would like to do a video on that one. Friends and family, what we do for side work on that one.
Justin's leaving.
Hey, Justin, thank you for tuning in, and also thank you for having an awesome channel. Everybody who's tuned in, if you haven't subscribed to Justin Dow, go ahead and subscribe to him also.
Yes.
A lot of these guys have awesome channels, and they're some of the reasons that I got started into doing this. Both Justin and JRC both watched their videos when I was at 10 subscribers and thought it was some cool stuff. So they got me hooked.
Mom is free. Your mom is free.
Joe Mammy. All right. Well, actually, we've got some friends who are coming over, and we're going to be playing cards here. So
Cards Against Humanity.
Cards Against Humanity. We might have to get some shots of some cool Cards Against Humanity and post that up on Instagram too.
I'm sure we can do that.
So yeah, I think we're going to be signing off here too. I really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. I don't know what the hell you guys have going on in your heads tuning into a couple of yahoos on a Saturday night talking about tools, but we do appreciate it.
Yep, we do.
It's pretty awesome to have the tool community and the truck community like we have.
And like we said, with his suggestion, if I do start doing some videos on my channel, I'm sure Kyle will be more than happy to let you guys know that I start doing stuff. So
I'll post that.
Be on the lookout for that. I'll see what I can come up with. Maybe not all car stuff, but it might be a majority. Yeah, it'll be a grab bag. What?
He's like, you're just as guilty as we are. Yeah, sitting here live streaming on a Saturday night.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it'll be a good project. It's going to be some really awesome stuff coming up. So stay tuned, and we're going to have some awesome stuff. Appreciate it. You guys have yourself a good night. Yes, Chris, I will get back to you on that one, and your goodies will be sent out for that one. As always, you guys stay awesome.
Boop. I booped it first. Oh, wait, we're just going to leave it up like that. Because it's... No, wait, stop. Ha! 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 You can't do that. Ow! Stop.